You might encounter Jehovah's Witnesses on the street, in parking lots, at one's place of business or shopping, or on the phone. But most often, you are likely to encounter them at your door. Why do they call so often? The leadership of Jehovah's Witnesses, the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, drills into their members the teaching that public evangelizing, including their hallmark door-to-door work, is a binding Bible command. For them, it is not optional. They are taught that they are involved in a life-saving work, a warning work. They are taught that Armageddon is coming soon and that the only hope for survival is to be an active member of the Jehovah's Witness organization. They are taught that your life is at stake, and theirs. If they fail to engage in the evangelizing work, or if they do not engage in it to the proper degree or quality, then God could hold them blood guilty at Armageddon. They would then face everlasting destruction. Therefore, for those who have taken these teachings to heart, it is a matter of life and death. And this can lead to much internal conflict, because a little-known secret outside the witness community is the fact that many Jehovah's Witnesses hate going door-to-door or engaging in other forms of public evangelizing. Many of them would much rather be doing other things. Please put yourself in their shoes. Imagine what it is like to go from door to door. You walk up, knock, or ring the bell. You never know who might answer or what the reaction might be. You realize that you've called unannounced and that you're likely bothering them. You might encounter an irate householder who starts yelling and saying any number of hurtful things. You might get threatened. You know of some who have even had a gun pulled on them. As you stand there, you might hear footsteps coming toward the door. Your heart might start beating. You might get nervous. What if your voice shakes or gets pitchy as you talk to the person? What if your hands start trembling? What if it's someone you know, a schoolmate or workmate? That would be so embarrassing. And if the person answers and you manage to get through the encounter okay, you have to do it all over again at the next door. It is not unheard of for a witness to pray that nobody answers the door. If you do not wish to talk to them, the best thing for you to do is simply not answer the door. You actually might be doing them, and you, a huge favor. Besides the fear of being destroyed at Armageddon, there are other factors that drive a witness in engaging in the evangelizing work. Each month, Jehovah's Witnesses fill out a time slip that logs how many hours they put into the work, how many publications they left, how many return visits they made on people, how many studies they conducted. The elders review these time slips, and the results can affect the reputation and standing a witness has in the congregation. If a member has not turned in a time slip in 6 months, they are labeled inactive, even if they attend all other events. Inactive witnesses are viewed as spiritually weak or dead, and viewed very poorly by their community. A member who has missed turning in a time slip for at least 1 month in the last 6 months are labeled irregular. They are not highly regarded either. A member who reports time every month, but perhaps puts in under 5 hours, is viewed as a low-hour publisher. Often low-hour publishers are not granted what are called privileges that other witnesses may have, such as carrying the microphones or other congregation activities. A publisher who makes the national average has an average standing or reputation among his fellow witnesses. A man who puts in 10 hours or more a month might become eligible to be appointed a ministerial servant and eventually a congregation elder. In fact, the first qualification checked in making such an appointment is the amount of time they put in. Next, we come to the auxiliary pioneers. They basically vow to put in at least 50 hours, sometimes 30, in a given month. And then there are the regular pioneers, who make this a career of sorts, putting in up to 70 hours a month for at least an entire year. Along with being a pioneer comes an elevated standing or reputation. They are looked at as the cream of the crop, as it were. They are given many privileges and are used in parts on meetings and assemblies. Regular witnesses are continually encouraged to examine their lives and see if they can make adjustments so as to become a pioneer. Could they switch to part-time work, downsize to a smaller living accommodation? The question they are constantly asked is, could you do more? The time slip is viewed as a type of spiritual barometer that measures a person's spirituality. As previously mentioned, it can affect a person's reputation and social standing. Many times those reporting many hours can become popular. Pioneers are viewed as highly desirable for a potential marriage mate, and so are ministerial servants and elders, who must maintain their positions by making a certain amount of time each month. Witnesses who become irregular or inactive can face a cooling of friendships and invitations. Inactive witnesses are sometimes viewed with suspicion or pity. In some instances, inactive persons have even been shunned. Therefore, along with a fear of Armageddon, there is a vast amount of peer pressure that keeps Jehovah's Witnesses going to your doorstep, even if they secretly might not want to. Think about that the next time a witness comes to your door, and may it guide how you treat them.